We'll start with the Ghanaian Times. Ghana Health Service records 20,599 TB cases in 2024. And the good news is 90% were cured. And the newspaper says this is a historic feat. Now, the president tasked Ghana Armed Forces Council to prioritize discipline, integrity in the military. Minority accuses AG of overstepping legal mandate. Do you know why? Because the AG has been speaking about various issues, and they've been arrested. And that story is also here on the on the front page of the Ghanaian Times. Former NSB DG to appear before court for allegedly diverting 40 million Ghana cedis. This is according to the AG. And there's a big story for me here in the Oti region. Karachi East residents appeal to government for a new ferry. There used to be a ferry called Nana Bisimuna, which ferry was moved to Yeji, and the new Akradi was brought to the place. The new Akradi has only one functioning engine, so it's always getting stuck. It's unable to move the way it has to move, and sometimes for 5 days, 6 days, 7 days, the ferry doesn't move.
That's
and
bad.
If it doesn't move, their weekly market activities don't happen. And if it doesn't happen, your yam in Accra doesn't come. And that route is the shortest route from Accra to the north. And so they've been asking for help over the past 2 or so years. The 48 engineers have a pontoon there that sometimes helps with moving this ferry when it gets stuck in the lake. But those people either need new ferries, at least 2, or we construct a bridge across that 1.2 kilometer stretch of the Volta in Dambai to Dodoikope so that vehicles can move 247.
I mean, what's the difficulty in getting, a ferry? What's the difficulty? I don't understand it. We've always talked about, during my lessons in resource and commodity flows, we talked about the need to move these things. And transportation is key.
Yep.
Because, your produce will definitely move from the northern part of the country into the southern part, and from the southern part into the northern part. And every government, see, this whole ferry thing, for instance, is even a nice recreational thing. And so one would expect that the government takes keen interest in it. And this is not something that government cannot do.
Yeah.
In fact, this should have been done yesterday, and immediately we should be taking steps to address it.
So let's get them 2 new ferries at least.
Yeah.
Or immediately find the funding to build a bridge across the Volta. Because when I'm going to Tamale, I don't use Kumasi because the Accra-Kumasi road is terrible. You drive Accra, Atimpoku, Have, Pando, Rara to Dambai. You cross the ferry. The old ferry could cross in 18 minutes. This new one does about 30 minutes. And it's usually not working. Once you get to the other side to Banda, you hit Wulensi, you are in Yendi, you are in Tamale in no time.
Yeah.
So we need to fix that for them.
Let's do the delete graphic. Alleged 39.46 million diversion. A Dubois wife arrested. Deal on the state cyber defense software. And details of the story, I think we've heard it from yesterday from the press conference about the immediate past Director General of the National Signals Bureau, formerly the Bureau of National Communications, Kabne Dubois, and his wife Angela J. Boatinga, and the investigations for allegedly diverting 39.46 million into their private company in a $7 million deal to purchase a cyber defense software for the state. And for me, it's good. The graphic, the first line talks about alleged. I mean, if this is true, it raises serious procurement issues. The systems that are supposed to be in place to check some of these things, and it's serious.
Yeah.
And the state institutions that are supposed to work to check these things, they've let us down. I mean, human being by nature is corrupt, but that's not condoning this act. But I'm saying that the structures that are supposed to check some of these things, the sole sourcing, all those things, to ensure that we don't experience some of these things, what happened to them? To ensure that we've lost, if these monies have indeed been taken. That is very serious.
And the Ghanaian Times angle on this story says that the former NSB DG is to appear before courts for allegedly diverting 40 million Ghana cedis. Winston, do we know when they are going to court?
Well, he says
soon.
Soon.
Okay.
He's sure that from April, he would. He's still reviewing cases, investigations ongoing. where he's sure of securing a conviction, he will go to court.
Now, the minority is accusing the AG of overstepping legal mandates. This is also in the Ghanaian Times. The story says the minority in Parliament has accused the Attorney General and Minister of Justice, Dominic Ayine, of overstepping his legal mandate by directing investigations, ordering arrest, and pre-judicial actions before these cases reach the courts. According to the group, the AG's role was to provide legal advice, not to conduct investigations or publicly declare individuals guilty before due process. These statements were made by the second Deputy Minority Whip, Mr. Jerry Ahmed Shaib, who is the MP for the Wager area.
Does it bring back this whole argument about whether we should separate the Attorney General function from the Minister of Justice? I mean, I stand to be educated, because there are some of the school of thought that maybe the time has come to have a Minister of Justice and then a separate Attorney General role, because when you're putting on these two hats.
Well, because and to be very honest, the Attorney General, as even though you add the other bit about the Minister of Justice, unfortunately, is a politician.
Yeah.
And because the government ran a campaign, his party, while in the position, ran a campaign of recovering all loot and prosecuting same, there's a lot of expectation.
He said that he's under pressure from
people
on social media.
He's under pressure to show what he's done.
To show working.
Okay.
To show work.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That was the
Working.
contest of the
So
claim that
he's
under
only
pressure.
saying, I mean, if you listen to the Attorney General, I think where the challenge is that sometimes he creates the impression that these persons are guilty, but then also he tells you. So when you say, for instance, that we are investigating, we are continuing with investigations, and where we think we have to go to court, we will go to court, because if I do not think I'll secure conviction, I will not go to court. And you see, I am preparing these persons for the courts. You're actually giving the indication that you're very sure that these persons have committed the crime. But he also gives you the bit about, the fact that these people are not in court yet. Okay? This is my challenge. So, in the minds of many people, they are criminals already. Like we say.
Yeah.
But ordinarily, you would have said, these are cases we are investigating. And then you leave it at that.
Okay.
But where you come and you say, this person has, we realize that he used the funds to buy this and that and that and that and that. If the person is able to prove that he did not use those funds to buy that, then the person's image may have been tarnished. But this is the other question. Then the person must also prove how he got the money to buy those things.
Yeah.
So for me, yes, there's pressure on the Attorney General, so you can understand why he went in there. I don't have a problem if the Attorney General comes to say, because I believe that the man is not guilty until the court says he's guilty.
But
I also believe in lifestyle audits. In fact, I believe that people, and I've always said this, people who are in positions of authority, we must check their lifestyles. We must audit their lifestyles and actually find out the source of their livelihoods. You don't get into office today and all of a sudden your lifestyle changes and you want me to believe that you had everything before you got into office. You must prove.
So I mean, Winston, it backs the argument about this attorney and the Minister of Justice based on the argument that you were making. To other stories in Daily Graphic, special courts to fight galamsey in the often free sanitary pad intervention. Government pledges to source from local producers. And if you're a Ghanaian out there, I know you'll be happy about the Black Stars results yesterday. Ghana 3, Madagascar 0. They now top the group with 15 points, and it put us on that path.
Yes,
we can win. Is it other 2 games or what? To qualify
for
the World Cup. What is it? Canada, USA, and
Mexico. Yes. You see, the thing about the Black Stars, and I've seen a lot of. I think that the disappointment, with the non-qualification for the AFCON. Is doing wonders for the team.
Yes.
I mean, isn't it because of also the World Cup? It appears that when it comes to the World Cup, the attitude is different.
No, but I think the problem is that, look, even for the coach Otuado, Ghanaians are angry.
And I think they are justified to be angry.
Yes, and so now you have no reason to fail. And I've seen Asamoah, I've seen Stephen Appiah, with them. These are greats of the national team. And at this point in time, the Black Stars can only get better. I've had my own doubts about the Black Stars, but I was having a conversation with Kojo yesterday, and I said, based on the performance against Chad, well, Chad is not a strong team, but if we lose against Madagascar, it's news.
They lifted their game.
Yeah.
And we won. I mean, Thomas Partey scoring 2 goals, and Kudus getting onto the score sheet, except that Kudus should learn to look up when he's playing and release the ball. He seems to be playing like he's playing small poles.
It's okay. Leave my man there. Let me.
He's playing like he's playing small poles.
It's okay.
He's able to from end to end.
Go near Fefe. Go.
The front page of the Economy Times. Benchmark oil production pegged at 127,000 barrels per day at price of $74 a barrel. Legal framework for gold board ready for parliamentary consideration, and illegal mining fight takes a new turn as government academia introduced in New York. These are the stories on the front page of the Economy Times.
And on illegal mining, you read a story earlier that special courts are being set up to deal with illegal mining. The Domahine is also calling for arrest of chiefs and others involved in Galamsey. He made this call when he had a meeting with the Regional Coordinating Council led by the Bono Regional Minister. Now, there's a story also here on page 3 of the Ghanaian Times. Parliament directs probe into market fire outbreaks. I think this probe, we should add Parliament directs probe into resourcing the Ghana National Fire Service. If you read Prince Biliana Glatis' article in the Daily Graphic, he writes about how over 296 fire hydrants in Greater Accra, only about 100 are working. And he's also drawing our attention to the fact that when you pay your water bill, 1% should be used to maintain these fire hydrants and make water available. How much have we paid, and how is that being invested in ensuring public safety by making water available? And on Ghana Water, I'm trying to link the stories. The new Ghana Water MD says only 48% of produced water gets to the final consumer.
So where's the rest?
The rest is lost through pipeline leakages, illegal connections, and inefficiencies in the distribution infrastructure. What this means is that over 52%, about 52% is lost. Now the 48 that gets to the final consumer, Ghana Water is only able to collect just about 70%. So there are a lot of leakages and a lot of waste in Ghana Water.
About 60% of the water is lost.
Yes.
So the challenge is not about increasing tariffs, right?
We always talk about ECG's technical and commercial losses, but if you look at that of Ghana Water,
it's worse.
It's worse. And now a lot of their raw material is also being affected by Galamsey and encroachment on their plants.